ask him how sexy baseball is.
Got the best coaches in the game, we really ain't playing. We regroup up in the Slack chat where the coaches debrief. We be piecing these puzzles, occupy the chunk of the pie. Ain't no lie when we hit the block, helmets, casket is got. You be seeing helmet after helmet, helmet after helmet. First place, second place, fifth place, eighth place, 12th place, 15, 16, 20. So many helmets, you got blurred vision, we got too many. Get your tech. Oh man, shit. They got us fucked up. Army, regroup. We pledge always to have that edge. We don't fire warning shots. Competition just drop. We locked and loaded before lock. Whatever the time, yeah. Do you even correlate?
Being the best requires a willingness to outwork your competition. There's always someone smarter, faster, sharper, more naturally gifted to come around.
Oh my God. I don't have an opening script today or anything because Harlock, you just told what Tattoo and I were just talking about. I misread completely what you posted in this, dude. Tattoo I think you found a loophole to the universe for the.
I found the black hole, that's for sure.
You found a black hole. It might. We'll let the jury out. But I honestly, I wanted to carry this in to start the show. He was showing me something that Grok. If you guys are on X or the old Twitter, and you've got a premium account and it has a voice over, you might as well explain it to him. We can't share with you the crap he was sharing with me, but I got to tell you, if you guys have ever played with this, I loosely use the word play with this. You guys, I'm not kidding you. You've got to mess around with this. I'm already going to use it on, I think I'm going to use it on my wife tonight in the background where she's going to hear this. Well, I just want to see how apeshit she goes with how realistic this stuff could be. Fill in the glory hole, man.
Okay. So last night I kept getting a notification that my X premium was going to renew today or tomorrow. So I was farting with it, trying to see if I wanted to upgrade to 4, and so I just started messing with the app, and I saw something at the bottom. It said like try new voice, and so I opened up the Gronk Assistant, and it has a little where you type. It has a little voice button. So I hit that. I'm just thinking I'm going to be talking to it. It opens up another section and it just says ask anything. And it says assistant. And then I noticed it was a bunch of options and it was like therapist, different things you could talk to them about. And as I scrolled and I saw one that said like mayhem or chaos or some shit. The next one said 18 plus sexy. And I was like, and then a couple of them had 18 plus on it. So I was like, what is this? So I clicked it on that. And it just says ask anything. So I was like,
that's what every 18-year-old says, by the way, is what is this?
What is this? So I said, ask anything. So at first I was like talking and nothing was happening. And then I was like, how nasty can you get? And I was like, God.
Yeah.
And the response, I thought it would be like, we can't, I don't understand that command, or it'd be some shit.
I asked either ChatGPT or Grok the other day, just for shits and giggles. I was bored. I said, rank the top 10 hottest bodies of all time or whatever. And it's like, well, I can't do that. That's objectifying women and all this kind of stuff. And I basically told GPT, I said, listen, jackass. I said, I didn't want your lecture. I didn't want your, I just wanted you've got all the sources, all the stuff in the background. What do people say? I don't care for your judgment. Just what do people say? And it goes, oh, I didn't realize you really wanted to talk about this. And then it gave me a list. What you're saying is there's a button now that's just a straight skip the conversation.
Just straight to phone sex.
Right to the dirty right to the 1-900 number.
But you should, when you do that to your wife tonight, you should change it to the man voice.
No, I'm not going to do that. No, I told Tattoo that he should change it to a man voice. He goes, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. I was like, I would just to see what it sounds like. But I'm thinking that if
What if I liked it?
Well, can she change her voice? Did you say there's other options where she can change her voice?
Yeah, it's like two different options. I guess it's like Alexa, where you can change the girl's voice from upbeat to laid back.
No, I want that sexy Southern draw with a little bit of the smoker rasp to it and that slow drawn out. You give me something like that, I swear to God, my wife's going to kick me out of bed. Y'all, I won't be doing the show tomorrow. I'm just telling you right now, I won't be here. I'll be probably in, some form of conversation with my divorce attorney. So, I mean.
And I was Apple, I have Android, but Apple has.
No, it was AI. It was AI. She'll be like, yeah, right.
The visual version where they put up a little anime girl.
Yeah, that don't do much for me. I'm not into the anime stuff.
Right.
But I mean, if it threw up I'm
not stroking to a cartoon.
This shit is so amazing. This AI stuff is getting so crazy. I don't have any doubt that someday it'll throw up Jennifer Aniston and use her voice for you if you want, or Salma Hayek, or whoever anybody wants. Just go name them all, and it'll probably flip flop it around. It's absolutely amazing. My goodness, Darth, if you just popped in, you need to go back. You need to go back and you need to rewind the first, say, 5 minutes of the show because Tattoo just blew minds, and not with DFS type stuff, unless DFS stands for something else. I'm with Dixon. An Aussie one would be great. Some sort, even a British one would be great. Any of that would be hilarious. Anyway, since
what about like a deep Northern Ireland?
Did you say deep Northern Ireland? I thought you said geek Northern. I was like, man, you got a man crush on him more than I thought.
I love my geek.
Change it to Rosie O'Donnell. I think
I have to get ready and do my hair before the meeting tonight.
If Rosie O'Donnell and Ellen DeGeneres started taking over the voice chat net thing, I'd cancel my subscription. Those are not the people I want talking dirty to me. Anyway, we got a regular show outside of that sidebar. Maybe we'll stay on the rails now that we've gotten off of them.
You could host the show with the.
Probably could. Could you imagine if that was our intro?
Yeah.
I guarantee you we'd have more than 40 people in here right now. People would be telling all their friends and family about us. I'm going to open up, share that weather, because we're going to dive into that first. We're going to start talking a little bit of DFS. But, man, that shit blew my mind. There's no scripted opening or anything today because, like I said, I'm trying to pick.
Reeling from that heat.
I don't even know what she said. I don't even know what she said. That was a sexy squirrel, though. It doesn't look like there's much in the way of rain. No PPD risk or anything. 20% is nothing. So it looks like the weather's calmed back down. It doesn't look like anybody's super, super hot except for Coors Field again. So like was said when I first checked the comments this afternoon, anything other than Toronto stacks is probably a wrong answer. Let's move past that and let's find the Carnage report. And we see up top, not a lot of strikeout potential in that low Carnage stuff. I don't know who the chalk. Do you know who the chalk is yet? I think it's Crochet.
Crochet, yeah.
And Eovaldi? Did he stay up there?
Wu, Eovaldi, Shahada.
I tried to do these earlier in the morning, and then, like I said on Twitter, even it changes throughout the day. So I'm prepared for that. Yeah, Crochet and Wu. It was Crochet and Eovaldi. Crochet and Wu are the chalk, and then a step down to Eovaldi, Imanaga, even Darvish, Pepio, whatever, before it falls off the cliff. Assuming that the default is, say, 2 of 3, Crochet, Wu, or Eovaldi. 2 of those 3, because we might not – well, they're all near 10K, so DS might prefer somebody a little bit lower down the totem pole. Who are you pivoting to? Who are your, I guess, your favorite pitchers to be a little bit under the radar and then with the upside to break the slate?
Well, I'm definitely think I'm going to, if I faded one, it'd be Eovaldi. Last night I thought that game was going to be such a low scoring game, and that was not the case.
The Seattle Mariners are playing the Chicago White Sox today,
Good for
August
them.
5th, 2025. The game features Brian
Okay,
Woodward,
thank you,
Mariners,
Alexa.
against Davis Martin, the White Sox.
Alexa, thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy the game.
You're welcome. Only you, dude. Only you.
Zebby Matt. Wait, is that on the main slate? No, that's an earlier game. I was thinking about Zebby Matthews, but no.
Tell you what, if you guys while Tattoo's gathering the upside
Freddie
stuff,
Peralta is where my brain could not.
okay. Throw in if you guys won last night. If you played cash tournaments, if you won some money, if you got back half money, or if you doubled up or whatever, throw those in the comments. Let me read. I need some encouragement. You know, I'm not on a hot streak. Anyway, go ahead, bud. You got. You said
I
for
was
all.
reading Dixon's comment and my brain locked up. But
what do you think about Joey Wentz?
not much.
Okay, I'm just looking at K scores.
Yeah.
I really do trust that metric. K score is a number that I mean, it's not perfect, but man, when the chalk is looking a little suspect by everybody and they're saying blah blah blah, I'm like, that K score number's up there. I'm going to use them. But
I just really want to like Milwaukee.
It's not a lot left. Well, then that means you're off of Wentz, which is fine. Pepio's got a 494, but his ISO against is pretty high. Soriano is up there a little bit. He's a little cheaper. Tampa hasn't been just ripping the cover off the ball lately.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta is always a decent one. He's 10K.
If you try to trust Barrios,
we might have to use old DS here to figure that out. When we get to the lineup building phase or something like that, I want to do the cash thing. I want to see who it picked. It was Crochet and Evaldi, and it's got to probably come off. If Woo's taken over the chalk spot, it's probably going to come down. I don't think it would use you, Darvish, at 6,100, but Soriano maybe.
Yeah.
Makes a little bit of sense.
I was thinking about Clay Holmes. I mean, not huge K upside, but
that's the thing. I mean, definitely need that K upside. Again, I'll throw it out to the comments. What do you guys think? Who are you guys thinking? Let's see if somebody can pick it. We'll tell you tomorrow if you're right or wrong. We'll see. We'll see if somebody just nuts the slate. Hey, turn Alexa off before I start saying things like nuts the slate. Would you please? I don't need her piping in and giving me that 18+ answer.
I don't think she has it in her. Yeah, I won't be messing with Hugh Darvish tonight. But, I mean, I like Peralta down there, 11% ownership, you know.
Yeah, I was robbed by Anthony, too. I don't know if y'all saw that tweet earlier today, too. Roman Anthony was 7% owned on DraftKings. He was 26% owned on FanDuel in cash lineups. If that isn't the biggest indicator that DK is a sharper player pool than FanDuel, and if that doesn't make you, if you play DK only, and that doesn't make you want to start playing FanDuel, then I don't know if you like money or not. Because when people are making that kind of a mistake, then you have got to be taking advantage of that. The money's there. Go get it.
I had Isaac Collins, and he was like 35% owned or something.
He did okay.
He did all right.
I was there for a little while. I was cashing on both. Once Bichette hit his double dong, I jumped right back up there because, again, they were only 30% owned on DraftKings, so I shot right up leaderboards with the chalk, and they were like 80-something% owned, but I think he was about 70% owned on FanDuel, and I still cruised right up into the cash on that one. I was like, damn, look at me jump with a chalky player, no less. You got anybody that you're targeting against? You got any favorite people? I mean, you got to be liking, good Lord, look at Miles Michaelis's ISO against 340. You got to like, even if the Dodgers are not swinging on all cylinders right now, you got to like them.
Yeah. Got to like the Dodgers. Yeah.
K-score number can't be very good. I mean, it can't be that high. That's high for him.
Arizona has a lot of good history off of Darvish.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, losing Naylor and Suarez, doesn't seem to really have slowed their offense down in that ballpark. So, I'm going to be on some Arizona tonight.
I think they're fine. I mean, I don't think that I'm going to be all over Dodgers like we will be, Toronto and Coors. But if K-score to VK score is any indicator, those numbers go up and down a little bit, like the VK score can be higher or lower than the actual K-score number. Miles Michaelis, it makes more sense to me. His VK score number matchup, I guess, adjusted, drops from a 450 down to a 374.
Didn't that asshole have a good game last time out or something?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Numbers are numbers. These numbers look too juicy for him. I'm going to.
No, I don't want to use him. I was just thinking about how he screwed me over by stacking against him.
Freaking screwed us all over because he came out with, Ice maybe had a couple of decent starts recently, just like Sonny Gray's been bad for St. Louis, but I don't mind targeting them. Somebody else, where's Minnesota at? Who's Minnesota playing? Are they on the slate or are they on a different slate?
They might be earlier. They're earlier.
Yeah, they're earlier because apparently they trade deadline shuttled off a bunch of their bullpen guys. So
they lost half the team.
That would be vulnerable. Yeah, if you're going to sell, that's how you sell. Sell it all.
Orioles traded a lot.
Sell it all. Screw them. Absolutely screw them.
Shit, I didn't need no till I was doing notes the other day, and I was like, Charlie Morton got traded to the Tigers? I was like, I didn't even see that.
Half the time I don't see squad either. I don't need to. You know what tells me where people play? The DS.
Yeah.
I don't care. Your numbers are your numbers. Your matchups are your matchups. I go through the DS and whatever the DS are throwing in my lineup. Oh, looky there. He plays for so-and-so now. I don't care. If I use him a lot, I'll know where he plays. If I don't use him very much, I'll never know where the guy plays. Why? I don't care. I'm not using him anymore.
Luckily, our data sheets, too, just throws it in, Like
I agree.
Who they play, it's like I don't have, unless some of the Julio Rodriguez, you have to pick the right one.
It's so much different than in the old days. Back in the old days when you had to know the league and know all that stuff, and everybody thought that meant you really knew what you were talking about. It don't mean shit. Numbers are numbers. DFS is about probabilities and statistical. That's it. If you master that stuff, you're going to be good at this, whether you watch a game or not. I swear. I know people talk about they love the deep dive and they love the this and they love the that. My DFS game is better today than it was 8 years ago because I don't know the league.
Yeah.
And I can guide people through the tools at DFS Army and whatnot, and teach people how to get out of their own damn way and start winning some freaking money. Because if you sit there and you pay too much attention to who the minor league, what's that?
You just completely remove that mental bias.
Yeah, I try to. It makes me better. I'm trying to turn my brain into Alexa or a computer of some kind.
And I think I can't remember who, the Prince or somebody. I like Shada tonight.
Yeah,
Shota.
Yeah, he made the list. Darth saying the Reds strike out against lefties.
That's funny. The Flings draft when he does brews and draft best balls, it like turned into I made a joke. Somebody said something about it, they're doing the eliminator, and then Dixon, I believe, said it's like WWE Elimination Chamber. And I made a joke that Hulk Hogan got eliminated. And there were some wrestling fans in there.
Well played. We can see that the Dodgers are the second chalk. When you shift to implied runs, they're also the second highest implied run total. So it looks like people agree that LA is a team to watch tonight. Where are your tiers? How many do you have in each tier?
I didn't do the sheet, so I just kind of have it in my head.
You're too busy playing with that freaking AI.
Yeah, she wouldn't let me go. I said, baby, I got work. And she's like, no.
It's like, I don't care, baby.
Let me get my tongue.
How many tier 1 teams you got?
Let's see. Coors
Guys-
tier, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no
Start
sense
guessing
in
them,
doing
boys,
that.
because I'm putting Toronto in there because you know Toronto's one of your top teams. Period.
Yeah. Then I would say two more.
2 more, and then tier 2 would have what, 3 or 4 more, or did you go buck
Yeah,
wild
about
and have a handful?
no, probably like 4.
All right, dudes, start guessing. Get in there because I mean, we've already talked LA. It pops pretty easily. Is LA in that top tier? Dodgers in that top
Yes.
tier, or are they? No,
They are tier 2.
they're tier 2, and that's from the small field GPP guy that isn't afraid to eat chalk in both spots. Interesting. Then you guys can fill out the rest. I've got them ordered over here on the side, and we'll see if there's somebody that's even far enough below this list that they didn't make it. Situation trying to get some great leverage, even if you made that choice. Yes, double the ownership of any other team plus the prices. The prices is a big one. We kind of talked a little bit about that yesterday, Darth. That Toronto's just they're just too cheap for being in Coors, and they showed up last night. They did what they did. Harlock wants Seattle for tier 1. What do you think?
Yeah.
You got your Seattle boner going.
Yeah.
Your C-toner.
Alexa. Oh,
All right, Chet. We got one more tier 1 team, and everybody else going into tier 2. Is it Boston, New York, San Diego, Chicago, Angels, Texas, Milwaukee? It's got to be one of those teams because I just listed off about 8 of them. So I guarantee you I named them. Almost guarantee you I named them. We just got to see which one you guys think is the one. This is the interactive part of the show, everybody, because, again, if y'all don't pop in answers there, I'm going to be forced to read the banner to you saying, join us at dfsarmy.com. Use that NFL 2025 for 50% off your first. There we go. Now we're starting to get some answers. See, I start selling, they start talking. Lodolo and Brewer stack with no Collins burnt me. Yeah, probably burned a few of us. Playing Jock Peterson. Single entry pitchers combo. Who would you use single entry pitchers combo? Let's touch on that really quick while, guys, I'm waiting for another offense to throw in there.
Crochet. I hate going double K, 10K. I'd probably go Shada.
Okay, so Crochet and Imanaga. I think I would dive a little bit deeper. If I mean, I'm got to come. You've got to convince me. If I'm using Crochet, that's fine. He's chalk. You've got to convince me to come off of Eovaldi even. Low ISO against, elite ISO against, 504 K score, suggesting strikeout upside is there. Freddie Peralta, lower K score, higher price. That's a no. I'm not a little bit more. Soriano. See, now if you want to save me 2K, and I only dropped from 500 in K score to 475, and I still got a good ISO against, I'd be interested in Soriano.
Soriano.
So I could come off. If I don't have a bunch of money to burn, I could come off of Eovaldi to Soriano to free up 2K of salary. I would ideally like to come off of him another $500 to Joey Wentz, but I don't like the ISO against, and I don't know how much I trust that K score.
I like Clay Holmes.
Okay.
Get you down to 7,500. That helps when you're paying, 11.
It does, but
11K almost.
I'm going to look at, but see now where I would take that is I'd say Jose Soriano is 7,600 on DK. Clay Holmes is 7,300. It only saves me 300, and I lose 140 points in K score. Like there's something in either his strikeout, the two pitcher strikeout abilities, or the matchup that they're in where they're facing a higher strikeout team or a lower strikeout team that I kind of don't want to mess with for a $300 save. I'd just stay at 7,600 personally. You got to really get me down. I mean, man, you got to tease me with the AI to get me to Yu Darvish tonight. Miles Michaelis would be a death wish.
Shot in the mood, baby.
Oh my gosh, that'd be funny. It wouldn't be
I
hard to
did
do.
touch
Remember,
on-
all the wind has to do is blow out. The wind's blowing out. I'm in the mood. So, Cubs. Harlock wants the Cubbies for tier 1.
No.
Tier 2?
No.
Not on the list at all.
No.
There's your strikeout. That's strike 1. Let's get strike 2 and strike 3, and then I'll just rip down the list and we can pick back up where we left off.
I kind of talked about this team
Earlier. I think you said you like them. You said you really kind of want to avoid a pitcher because you kind of like this team.
Yeah.
See, it's you know what? My wife would be so pissed off that I listen here so much better than in real life when I'm talking to her.
Some bitch.
She'd be so I know your other tier 1 team. If y'all want to give up, I'll just name it. Otherwise, you got another 5 or 6 to choose from. Diamondbacks, Arizona.
There you go. Yeah. I was getting ready to say it was a old Public Enemy song.
I'm actually glad he said that because I was going to put my money on Milwaukee. Is Milwaukee tier 2?
Yeah. No.
No.
Yeah. They're actually tier 3.
Okay. Then you got a few others. We'll get back to that Pepio question for long win here in a minute. Who are your other tier 2 teams then? Let me see. Boston?
3.
You said no Cubs. I don't want to say San Diego. I guess I'll say the Mets, but I'm not real confident in that one either.
No. But
Okay.
San Diego is.
Is it? Are they really? See, Are the Angels your other one?
The Angels are another one. And then
Okay.
there's one more.
Are you going all the way down to Cincinnati?
No.
Okay. Let's see. There's Yankees, Tampa, Texas. What is it? Tampa or Texas?
Texas.
Texas. So for anybody that missed out, tier 1 was Toronto, Seattle, Arizona. Tier 2, well, Toronto in a category by themselves because they're in course. Tier 2 was Dodgers, not really Milwaukee, but kind of maybe. San Diego, LA Angels, and Texas. Okay, that gives us some ground to work with. Y'all know how I do it. I just look at this sheet right here and just go 1 through 6 or 7, take a peek over here at the ownerships. I like the teams that are a little bit lower owned. Anything under the 117 is fine because it drops off under 70. So any of these guys are in play. Scroll over here, look at the leverage rank. So 2nd and 3rd on the list are in play. I might avoid the 10th team. That's not Seattle on the 10th spot, is it? It's Boston. Probably wouldn't use Boston myself. Then I might pick up the Mets and then maybe down to San Diego, Chicago, LA. Okay, so we agree a little bit. That just helps us line up a little bit. I'm glad LA and Seattle. I really like kind of Seattle just doing that lower ownership alone. LA's in a smash spot against Michaelis. If Michaelis doesn't have his absolute best stuff tonight, he's going to get tore apart. And then you're going to get into the shit side, and they don't even have Steven Matz in there to kind of close the door a little bit on stop the bleeding in St. Louis. You get into that real shit side of that bullpen, and things might unravel in a hurry.
Looking at the weather a little bit closer, or the hitting conditions, I guess I should say, with the weather, makes me like Joey Wentz a little bit more.
Okay. Which page are you asking about, Max? The one I'm looking at is leverage stacks. It's under the MLB tab. It's over to the right a little bit with the chalkboard and weather station, all those things up there in the borderline. When you have that VIP access, whether it's single sport, MLB premium, or VIP all sport access, it'll open that up to you on the website. Yep, you got it, buddy. The other ones that I like to look at, that's why we show them on the show. Carnage Report is a good one. I don't look a lot at starting lineups anymore. I don't look a lot at some of the other stuff, but Research Station I do very little in. If I want to look at research, it's a good thing because I can dive into 30-day and 7-day, 14-day trends. I can look splits, righties, lefties. I can look at a lot of those numbers. But when I'm building lineups, I oftentimes do what I'm getting ready to do right now, and I'll show you through the domination station. But before we jump in there, let's answer Long's question. Why are people high on Pepio for SP2? You're not going anywhere near him.
I don't have any interest.
I don't know that I would either. And if I come back over here to the Carnage report, because it shows me what I want to see, 494 K score suggests that maybe there's some strikeout upside there. But this 220 ISO against also suggests that he can give up the long ball. Everything else is pretty middling. He's a little below average for the slate when it comes to the 4.7 Carnage number, which is kind of an all-inclusive number that rates the danger of a pitcher like these guys down here in the red are dangerous. That means we want to target the offense against them because they're in danger of imploding. And these guys up here towards the top, and that 3.61 is not a super low number for the top pitcher on the slate, but it suggests he might be the safer pitcher. That's why he's
I guess the Angels are boom or bust. So
very much. And that's kind of why that K score is a little bit higher, but so is the ISO against. But this is the pitcher is ISO against. Pepio's ISO against. That means that Angels might touch him up tonight. Another one, if you guys focus on implied run totals, fine. It just puts it on the page. But Sierra, you don't know the old school Sierra number. That's just what the ERA should be, for the pitcher if you removed some luck. It's kind of like FIP and XFIP. I don't mind Sierra. A lot of people hate it. I don't mind it. It shows me that a guy, like Joey Wentz, whose Sierra is a 3.02. I don't know what his actual ERA is. But if he's got a 3.02 or Crochet's got a 2.84, they should be pretty good pitchers. Maybe they've been getting a little unlucky this year. And their ERA is above that. Maybe they've been getting really, really lucky and their ERAs are below that and they should regress. Those types of things, that's how you kind of interpret those numbers. But I don't do a lot of that. I dive right into domination station and I let him do it. I let him do the work for me. The first thing I'm going to start with is what I'll always do. It's kind of finding its way into the show because I think it's helping people. When you're blending your portfolio, let's say you want to put in $100 tonight. You should be having 50 to 60 to 70 bucks probably in some form of cash. Builds the traditional by the book way to play DFS because it's a slow grind, but it's a safe grind. You're not wiping yourself out every night most of the time. And you use that other 20 to 30% to sprinkle in your tournaments so that you can 10x your money or 100x your money. Most people play tournaments. They say baseball is really, really volatile, so they play tournament only, and then they wonder why at the end of the year they got no money left over for football. Now that we're starting to shift into that football mindset, I think that it makes some sense to start picking up some cash games again. So if I'm playing 50-50s and double up now, somebody like Tattoo is going to use those smaller field tournaments as his cash game sort of, and that's fine too because those smaller fields are not that hard to quote-unquote win. Everything's hard to win, but you're going to win them a little bit more often. You're just not going to get paid as much when you do. You can see I started this left-hand slider thing. This is an ownership number. I'm going to talk to you, Max, and everybody else as if nobody knows what I'm talking about. I don't mess with any of these other dials. No uniques, no optimal, no nothing yet. That's all tournament stuff. If I'm talking cash games, which is where I like to start so that we can then talk tournaments after we know where most people's lineups are going and what they look like. This left side projected ownership at 145 is a number that's going to force at least 145% team overall ownership into our lineups, which means if I make that number bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, the teams are getting chalkier and chalkier and chalkier and chalkier. And that's good for cash games. We like ownership. We want to hide in the herd a little bit. That's where our safety is. Everybody sees the obvious, so they gravitate towards them, and that leads us there too with very little research of our own. So 145 was the number today. I might play with it a little bit here and see if it'll rebuild me some lineups. If I uncheck, and this is one of the things that I like to do, if it will build me my 10th lineup, please. Thank you. Cash game lineups also benefit from the top of the order, like a lot. Anybody projected at the 0 spot to, be in the lineup, they're not projected for a spot. I don't want them. 7, 8, 9, I typically don't want. And if I can get away with it, I'll even uncheck the 6 and just play 1 through 5. We'll see if I increase this just a smidge. We'll see if it'll build these or if it'll shut down. If it builds them, ownership numbers have changed from this morning. And we'll just keep going until it shuts down on that left side. I'm building it chalkier and chalkier and chalkier. So there, I'm probably at 150 to 155. The lineup's shut down, so I'm going to start back down here actually at 150 with the 1 through 6. And now we're going to double check this. I want to see who the pitchers are, and I want to see how many Toronto bats are in there. And it should be quite a bit. These are kind of your core guys. These are the guys you're going to want in your lineup. And it moved Wu in. It took out Eovaldi and put Wu in there. It went double high. As a result, it did pick up some Milwaukee, but it lost Toronto. Okay. I'm still all right with that. Crochet and Wu, cash game pitchers. Kirk's too cheap, I guess, for being in Coors. And then you got the value play Vientos in New York. Optimizer loves him. Sometimes I can swap him in or out. Laperfido, again, is finding his way in. But, again, watch this. When this is not a green check mark, he might fall down to the 8 like he did last night. That might change things. So you're going to want to make another final run here in 20 or 30 minutes, especially if you see that Coors lineup drop, that Toronto lineup drop in for sure. For whatever reason, Kirk might find his way out. Backup catcher might find his way in. You never know. Story, Collins, Vaughn. Vaughn was up there a good bit earlier today. Do you see anything, Tattoo, anything in there that is standing out to you as weird? Or is it all pretty standard to you?
Yeah, looks about right.
I mean, all these higher-owned guys, these guys that are down here in the 50 and 40% range, they're just kind of mixing in and out based on the one unique. And the fact that the projections is not pointing so hardcore to the guy that you have to take him. These 100%, 90% type guys, it is pointing towards those. So these are the guys you're going to want to build around. If you start deviating, I don't really like Schneemann, I don't really like Isaac Collins, I don't really like whatever, don't probably deviate off of Kirk, maybe Vientos, Laperfido if he stays in the 2-hole. You're going to want to use those guys and deviate now. Start deviating after you've used most of these guys. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it, maybe someday we'll show you the chalkboard. You can build right off of our MLB chalkboard tool as well. But when I scroll down these lineups, I'm basically just going to pick the one I like the best. If I like Jorge Polanco from Seattle because I like Seattle, fine. But if I don't want Marte and Vientos as a mini stack from New York, then maybe I don't like it. Maybe I pop Vientos out and put somebody else in there. Maybe I pop Marte out and put somebody else in there. Whatever. Maybe I pick up somebody from Seattle. I can start tweaking these lineups a little bit as we go. And you can do the same thing. Trevor Story, Jarren Duran. If you don't like Boston tonight, I'm not big on Boston tonight myself. I might swap them both out. See if I can't punt a position almost and then pick up a Dodger because I like where the Dodgers are at. Little things like that will help you swap in and swap out these players as you go through these lineups. So now that we know that cash games like these two pitchers, that these two pitchers are carrying all the ownership, we know we can swap in what you said, Shota, Eovaldi, other players, Soriano. Those players are all in play to swap those in. Guys out there in the comment land, pick one. He's 8. Okay, Laperfido went to 8. Good. Pick a pitcher. If you guys, we're going to use Crochet, but I want you guys in the comments. First one in to drop in an answer. We're going to lock that pitcher in. We're going to lock those two pitchers in and start building tournament lineup. So I got Crochet locked. Waiting for an answer, boys. Waiting for an answer.
Get your vibrator ready.
I don't know if I want to use Davis Martin. I mean, this is part of the thing. Whereas Davis Martin down here, 6,800, White Sox versus Seattle. If I go to Carnage Report and I look down here at Davis Martin, he doesn't have a Carnage number, 171.41. Okay, he's not terrible. He's not terrible. I might have others that I like more. I'll tell you what. Long says Warren, Severino, Max, 7.5 runs. You know what, Max, you're the first one, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put Davis Martin in there. Let's do it. Let's do one solid for our boy Max.
I used Barrios.
You did? Okay. Davis Martin's still cheap. Let's see how things change because I would change the stacks to 100% 5x2 if I'm doing tournaments. I might even go a little bit of 5x3. So if I did like 80% there, and then did a little bit of 5x3. I would do something like that. And then I'm going to first just let it eat on 10 lineups, not enough players. Well, if we're going tournaments, we got to take this number back down to 0. I'm going to take this number here down to about 150. I don't want to build it too chalky. That's the quick pivot I would make. Actually, I need to switch to tournament mode. I need to kick down to 2 to 3 uniques. Let's do 3. There's your tournament adjustment right there. You take the ownership down to 0. You can use a maximum if you want. Switch to tournament mode, 3 uniques, 2 uniques, 3 uniques, whatever. You can also include 7, 8, and 9 hitters again. So you can see me making fundamental mistakes already instead of doing this super fast. You can add some randomization if you want. That works too. Now, based on the projections, using all of the teams, which we'll go back and we'll take out some of those teams in a minute. But now we're looking at Crochet Martin, of course, is our pitching guys. Loperfido again, even though he's in the 8 hole, DS will adjust to that in a little while. But there's your 5 Toronto stacks, 2 Milwaukee, 5 Toronto, 2 Texas, 5 Toronto, 2 Milwaukee, 5 Toronto, 2 Boston, 2 Cubs, 5 Boston, 2 Blue Jays. It's one way to go. That'd be a little lower owned than the other stuff. 2 Boston again. 3. There's a 5x3 with 3 Mets. 5x3 with 5 Sox and 3 Blue Jays. Now again, we've talked with people before. Razzle's big on going through, manipulating the numbers, and making sure that you get the meat and potatoes of those stacks instead of using your little punt pieces. That would be something smart to do as well. But I don't know. Those don't bother me too much. Let's go back and let's further refine this. Let's use your tier 1 teams. Toronto, Seattle, and Arizona. Arizona, Toronto, and Seattle. And just to tone down all of the Seattle love, I'm going to put a 50% cap on that and make sure that we get 5 lineups of Toronto and then the rest of a little bit of mix and match to give us some ideas. I like to come down here and put 40% max on that right side too, kind of like Scott Newman's been doing for years. The reason why is it forces at least 3 mini stacks in there. But honestly, tonight I might put about 20% minimum on LA to see what they do. That's how I would adjust it. You guys can adjust it how you see fit. But and now it's again, we'd have to adjust to get off of Ernie Clement. But you can see the 5 guys it's generally using. Same pitchers. It wants Arizona in there a good bit too. That's good. That'll be the next stack probably. 2 Boston again. 2 Milwaukee again. 2 Dodgers. Muncy and Teoscar. Interesting. It's trying to save money. Kafis, I don't think I'd take out of Cleveland. I'd probably at $2,000 punt. I'd try and rework that lineup. 5 Arizona, 2 Toronto with Ohtani as a one-off. Pretty decent. 2 Toronto. How would you manipulate it, Tattoo? It wants
4.
Arizona from there. You'd want 4?
No, what were you saying?
Just asking how you would manipulate it. What would you change based on what we've been doing so far? Would you cut out some of the secondary teams? Would you add any?
Because that's what I'm doing right now. I cut out the secondary teams and I boosted up some of the players that I really like.
Okay, I will actually leave that to everybody else to boost the players because that starts taking too much time. I've got Arizona and Toronto. Who did I lose over on this side? No wonder it only went to Arizona. Who did we lose? Seattle? There it is. Let's do Seattle. Let's do LA. If you're only building 10 lineups, you really don't need more than about 3 offenses. So we'll leave it at Toronto, Arizona, Seattle. But we'll put LA over here. I know we talked about the Angels. Seattle needs to come back in. Mets are okay. Boston it likes. I would stay away from those. Texas. And I'm only staying away from just to give us some variety to look at. You like San Diego, you said. You like Milwaukee, all right. Let's do that. Let's cut this down. Would you stay on 5x2?
Yeah.
So let's go down and make it 100% 5x2. I want to see who the one-offs are.
Ventos.
Yeah, it's going to have a lot of him in there, I think, unless we start messing with him. Yeah, he loves him. It's too cheap at 2,600. I get it. But I always like it. Now, I know some people don't mind punting one-offs. I like it when my one-off can hit, 2 homers and can do something like that. I don't mind taking the bottom of the order in my big 5-man stack, because if that lineup is really producing and all 5 of those guys are producing, that bottom of the order is doing a little bit, and it's got the value plays in it that are then correlated in with the remainder of the offense. And then my mini stacks, and then certainly my one-offs are the ones that need to have the pop to carry the rest of the team by themselves. I don't mind getting off of super expensive teams in 5-man stacks, like LA. I'm not going to use them in a 5-man stack too often because they're so expensive top to bottom. That's just how I build. Let's see. Scrolling through to Milwaukee. Bregman is a one-off. It's not bad. Tovar is a one-off. It's not bad. Teoscar. See, Kafis, I got to get off of that one. That lineup's not good to me. 4-7's okay. Ortiz at the bottom. See this bottom of the order? That just pisses me off. Those lineups are gross to me. If you're punting with an 8 or a 9-hole hitter in your one-off, I personally don't like it. See, like Alvarez, catcher. And catcher, maybe. If the rest of the lineup's really, really good, maybe. San Diego, 1-6. I also like it when my guys are correlated a little tighter. Kirk, not bad as a choice. I don't know. Let's see what the guys are saying here. Judge is in the lineup. That's good. Hopefully, I'm not sharing my screen. God dang it. I'm a moron. Sorry, guys. I went back to the Carnage report and forgot. So sorry, guys. So sorry. That's why I get paid the big bucks. All right. So let me try to recap what I did here. Back up here in the top, we used Tattoo's tier 1 teams on the left side, on the 5-man side, 100% 5x2, right? And about 30% on the right side, just to make it mix and match. If you want more, that's fine. But I included Arizona, San Diego, Milwaukee, Toronto, Seattle, LA Dodgers, LA Angels, teams we kind of talked about today. If I left a couple out, so be it. It was using a lot of Boston. It was using some Mets. I wanted to get off of those just to give us a little bit of something else to look at. Personally, I plugged back in case I didn't show it. I plugged back in 7, 8, 9-hole hitters. I took the projected ownership on the left side down to 0. On the right side, I made it the 150. If you want, you can make it even lower than that. Sometimes you can go down as much as 75, 80% of the chalk number. If the chalk number was 150, you can come down. 75% of that number is going to be about, 125, 130, something like that. You can use that number. 3 uniques, tournament mode. Tournament mode, for those that don't know, tournament mode mixes and matches the players better. If you're in optimal mode, and it really, really, let me get to the hitters here. Let's say it really, really loves Alejandro Kirk. And you put a cap on him and you say, oh, where's my cursor? I only want, 70% Kirk. In optimal mode, in 10 lineups, it's going to put him in the first 7 it makes, and then it's going to go, I hit my cap, I'm out, I'm done. It's not going to mix him into the other bottom of – if you only put 20% on him, it'd put him in the top 2 lineups, and then it'd be done with him for the rest of the 8. So when you're using exposure maxes, you want to use tournament mode because it mixes and matches these guys better. It would put him, if you had him capped at, say, 30%, 3 out of 10 lineups, it'd put him in one, and then it'd take him out for a couple lineups. Then it'd put him in one, and then take him out for a couple lineups. And when you're doing that with, 150 players, and they're all in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, it diversifies your lineups a little bit better. It spreads out those players through your player pool a little bit better and gives you more unique combos so that your lineups don't overlap so much. When your lineups overlap, some people like that. When your lineups overlap, you have a lot of boom or bust. You're going to have a really good night or a really bad night. Other people like to diversify and loosen up that overlap a little bit so that they maybe have a few lineups that really go deep in tournaments and then a few that do really, really poorly, but a lot of the others are kind of in the middle. Personal preference, but that's what tournament mode does for you. I get that question a lot. Hopefully that helped. If I walk through these lineups a little bit, you can see these 5x2s. Like I said, the 2 Milwaukee 3-4 is good. I would swap out Vientos because, again, I want double dong upside in my one-off if I can put it in there. I don't mind seeing some of these lower order guys in the big 5 stack.
I tell you, one off.
Very Clement.
If you went cheap one off second base, Cole Young from Seattle.
Okay.
2,100. He's the 9 hitter, but that's an offense I'm interested in, and
and that's good. If you've got offenses you're interested, maybe you're interested in the Mets, and if you are, use Vientos.
Yeah.
If you're not, but I'd be using, if I'm interested in that offense, I'd be using him in my mini stacks or my big stacks, right? I wouldn't necessarily be using him as a one-off unless it's somebody with pop. Now, does Cole Young have some pop? Do you know his numbers at all?
Not off the top of my head, but he has a little pop.
Okay, and that's what I want. Anybody can run into a home run on any given night. I totally get that too. So for people that like to punt the one-off, that's fine. You can back your way into them. But to me, it just makes sense that when the big stack has the guys that need everybody around them to be going off to have a good night, that helps. The two stack or the 3 stack can then carry itself with the middle of the order, and then the one-off can do that too. But when you're talking about a guy that you don't mind being at the bottom of the order, being a punt in there, yes, target the stacks that you like, target the offenses you like and the good matchups, and find that little dude in there that does have, maybe he strikes out 300 times a year, but he hits 30 bombs. Use that guy. Tovar as a one-off would qualify for me. Vaughn and Terang in Milwaukee with 5 Toronto guys. So as I'm walking through these again, there's your Dodgers mini stack. But again, I'm not a big fan of Kafis. I don't know his numbers. Maybe he has some pop. I'm not a fan. I'm not on Seattle. I'm not on Cleveland tonight. Like Tattoo's saying he's on Seattle, so he would use bottom of the order as a one-off. If it's an offense I'm not interested in, like I'm assuming if it's an offense you're not interested in, you're not using that type of a one-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are all laughing at me. It's great. You should laugh at me, man. That was a really dumb mistake of mine. Hopefully it's not too repetitive for everybody. If you've got anything else, we got about 5 minutes here. If you've got anything else, fire it up. If not, we can let you all go build lineups. I think that gives us an idea tonight, unless there's other things that you want to point out or you want to say. Your show too, Tat.
I was just going to say, one of the reasons I like Arizona, Corbin Carroll is 8 for 16 with 2 home runs and 2 other extra base hits off of Darvish. Marte, 11 for 38 with 2 home runs, 2 extra base hits. So they have some good history there. It's a good hitting environment. Mookie Betts is somebody I really like tonight. 4 for 10 with 2 home runs off of Michaelis. And my bong call, where did this go? Michael Conforto.
Conforto is your bong call. Wow. Okay. How's he been playing lately?
I'm not sure.
Here's a question for you. I'm trying to force. Oh, I know why. I was trying to force Seattle a big stack in there a little bit. The reason why is because we've locked in the other pitcher, the White Sox pitcher. When I get down here, when he's facing Seattle, it's not going to let me build Seattle stacks. So I got to uncheck Martin if I want to use Seattle, and then go up to where's old Warren, guys. Somebody had mentioned that. Now
I want to pick on Warren.
Now it will let me use him. So when I come back up here, now it'll pick up some of those Seattle stacks. So, guys, when the machine shuts down on you, there's some kind of conflicting evidence somewhere. And the problem is we get to tweaking this thing so much. Sometimes we can't remember where the hell it was. And it gets hard. Sometimes we have to then turn around and reset the damn thing and start all over again. See, like now it's not even picking up some of the stacks in every line. If there was just one, that's good. Trying to find in Seattle. There's 2 mini stacks Seattle. It wasn't even going to do mini stacks in Seattle when I was using Davis. There's a Seattle with Vientos again, but it's a two-man Toronto stack, 5-man Seattle stack. Let me ask you this, Tat. Based on what's been going on and pricing for Toronto, should you almost just use them as your 5 stack and then use your mini stacks in and out? Or, I mean, are you going to use some Arizona or Seattle 5 stacks? If so, how much?
I am. Like I'm doing 3 max and a single entry. The single entry I use Toronto, and then I'm going to have a Seattle, a Arizona, and possibly a Texas 5-man and that 3-man.
You're using Toronto in the single entry, right?
Yeah.
Because it's smaller field and therefore you can get by with more chalk.
Yeah, because I'm dropping down to Barrios as my pitcher.
Max, I would look at Ian Happ and I would see if his price has dropped much. He certainly probably was too expensive to be low in the order. And if he's moved up to the 2 spot, he might be priced correctly again as opposed to too expensive. That doesn't mean he's cheap. It doesn't mean he's a value. So just because he moved up doesn't mean that that the pricing adjusted with it. You know what I mean? Or like it's a mispriced situation. That's always something to ask, or at least when you see that. A lot of people see that and they jump on it. And they all of a sudden say, oh my God, guy's hitting at the top of the order again. But what they don't realize is he's hitting at the top of the order with the price that he had a month ago when he was hitting at the top of the order. Because in DFS, their prices shoot up a whole lot faster than they come back down.
Yeah.
So I would do a little bit of digging on that before I got super, super excited about it. Plus, maybe it's a matchup thing, and that's great for baseball. Yeah, I would too. I like Bush a lot leading off too. I would like to have seen these guys make more noise lately than they have been because they're very expensive for Chicago anyway.
Sucks in Chicago.
What's that?
So the weather just sucks.
Yeah, and that affects things. So while they can hang 10 on anybody at any given time, I'd like to use them when they're rolling a little bit better than now. 179 in Chicago today. Yeah, use them, man. Go for it. Do it. And your 789, your 7-9, it's actually 7-8-9-1, right? With the wraparound. So it's a correlated 3-man stack. It's only missing the 8 hole. It's a 1-gap 3-man stack. So if you like that combo, man, use it. I'm not here to talk anybody off of anything. I will tell you if I agree or disagree, and I'll tell you why, but I won't tell you not to do it. Frick, I'm wrong all the time. Ask Alexa.
Ask dirty Alexa.
Max, if you are a VIP, congratulations. Thank you. If you're not, I would consider using that coupon code down there, and I would get involved because we talk like this 24/7 inside our Discord channels. For anybody else, and man, dude, seriously, thanks for participating today. I've seen you, I know before, but you don't play just 2 or 3 lineups either. That's cool. The more lineups you play, the more you can spread out, and the more you can pick up little pieces of these other offenses and mix and match the combos and hope to really mash a winner. But if you're playing 3 lineups, you're going to make tougher stands, tougher all-in type calls than you are if you're building 20, than you are if you're building 150, than you are if you're going back crap crazy like Razzle does and building 250 or 300 or 500 lineups. That's a lot of outlay that I don't do. I very rarely build more than 100. How about you, Tat? Do you usually build? You're usually 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You usually don't build a ton, right? You're not a big MME guy. I dabble. I go back and forth with MME. Lately, the past couple of weeks, I've been building the bankroll back up with some cash games and such. Really shouldn't ever get away from it, even in baseball. That's why you're hearing me preach it a little bit more. I think it helps more people if we just revisit the fundamentals and infuse a little bit of cash play. It's why we show the system. But after that, once you know where that goes, you're free to do whatever you want for tournaments. You want to take that leverage. But the thing is, I would say, don't take a low-owned player just to take a low-owned player. It needs to make sense. It needs to be somebody that should be higher owned. Sometimes a 1 or 2 or 3% owned player should be a 0% owned player, but somebody out there picked him anyway because they're just trying to be different. Don't be cute. Don't be different for the sake of being different. Be different with intention. Be different for a reason. Closing arguments out of you, Mr. Tat?
Yeah, I just made a lineup that got me half erect.
Half erect.
I'm going to let Grockier. She has to have a girl name.
I'm shuffling cards, by the way, for those of you that see my hand going up and down while he's talking about being half erect. It might look like that's what I'm doing, and I'm just shuffling cards. Yeah, go drop that thing in a single entry or something like that. See what it does. Guys, as always, please tell us your results in those comments. I want to know if you guys win, lose. I want to know if you have suggestions for the show, if you like the show, if you don't like the show, or whatever. I mean, I assume if you don't like the show, you're just going to not be here for long, so that's fine. We should be dealing with only with people that love us at this point. So we're all friends. Might be that prostate massager. You know what? I'm over 50. I got my prostate checked 2 days ago. So true story. No lie. No exaggeration. I go every 6 months to keep the old prostate in alignment.
On that, before we go, I'll knock it completely off the rails before we hang up. But I had a little roid problem and went to my doctor. But when I got there, he wasn't the one seeing me. It was a very hot female doctor, and yeah, she ended up violating me. But yeah, she was like, go ahead, get undressed, put this little sheet over you, and since I'm going to do this, I have to have another person in the room with me. And she went and got a nurse assistant that probably couldn't have been 20 years old. Jeez. And then they come over there. I got to turn to the side, which my balls are probably hanging out my asshole. And then, she violated me. I was like, you can use 2 fingers if you like. So.
There you go.
That's all I got. I got to go do my hair and makeup for Geek before the meeting.
All right. Well, we're looking for Silent but Deadly at the top of the line. Yeah, we got NFL meetings tonight. Oh my gosh, this it's gonna be early bedtime tonight for me and Alexa. So anyway, for me, for Tattoo, for DFS Army, for the whole crew, you guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, we'll see you back here tomorrow, and let's hope we've got some winners. I'm ready for it.
Dixon, don't rub the skin off that thing.
Right? It depends on if there's a lot of skin or a little bit of skin to rub off.
He's probably watching wrestling and stroking.
All right, everybody. You guys have a good night. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. With that, we better just get out of here before we get YouTube.
Yeah, we better go for that.
See ya.